Right, it's 7 o'clock.
Compacting the roots is the
Yeah,
problem,
that's where I went.
but maybe that's too much.
7 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. 7 o'clock, it is October 14th on a Tuesday. I'm calling this meeting of the Chelmsford Conservation Commission to order. My name's Carl Bischoff, I'm the chair of the commission. We'll be following the published and posted agenda. This meeting is both in person and through the Zoom. In the case of the Zoom not working properly, we will keep the meeting in person going. This meeting is being broadcast and recorded by Chelmsford Telemedia and will be available on their website and on YouTube. We have a full quorum here. We are likely to continue the discussion on 265, 279 Chelmsford Street with, to continue that hearing without discussion tonight. So if you're here for that, you may not want to sit around until we do that, until we continue that discussion for, I think it'll probably be late in November. Okay, first thing on our agenda here is we have open session. Do we have any citizen concerns that are not on our agenda? Anything that anyone would like to bring up about something in town or one of our reservations? I don't see anybody coming. Okay. Then the first thing on our list here is Donna Faubert at 27 Dalton Road, removal of invasives in a 100-foot buffer zone. David, do you want to talk about this for a moment?
Sure. I don't see her here. So I was alerted actually by, well, I was alerted in a couple ways that Courtney had told me probably a couple weeks ago that someone had left a voicemail for her asking, yes, basically if the DPW could remove some invasives at this address. And because it's, most of the property is wetlands, she forwarded the voicemail to me. But the next day, I was alerted by the building department that there was work being done in the buffer zone at that address. And so I went over and found out, well, that's what they were doing, was hired a contractor to remove the invasives in the buffer zone, but it was really tearing up the ground right next to the wetlands. So I told them they had to stop and also to smooth it out and to put some kind of ground cover to stabilize it. So they assured me they would do that. I was hoping to be able to get out there today to check it. I wasn't able to do that and expected them there here tonight. I think it's just a matter of filing an RDA. I mean, it's nothing that the commission wouldn't approve. It's something the commission likes, is getting rid of invasives, but they just really should have filed an RDA. And I mean, I think that's what I would have told them if I had had a chance to speak with her before they did the work.
Okay. Well, yeah, like you said, we are all in favor of removing invasive plants. We think that's a great thing, but the process is within the buffer zone to file an RDA. And certainly that, I don't think we would have any trouble with that. We want to do it in the right manner, but Peter, you have something to say?
Yeah, question, just, we don't need to discuss this. I'm curious as to how the patch of vegetation was labeled invasive. And what we're really for is removal of non-native plants. But I think the point I'm trying to make is I've seen plenty of places around town, forums and whatnot, where invasives gets used as a catch-all for a messy area. So that's my question, and we don't need to debate it.
I can just say, based on what I saw out there when I was there in the area that they had not yet gotten to, it was probably 95% bittersweet. So
Great.
No doubt in my mind that it was invasives.
And
Yeah,
not American bittersweet.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Don't know why they're not.
So I guess we'll table this, but I can't speak for the whole commission, but I think we all feel like, yes, it's good to get rid of invasives, but please follow the process.
Yeah. So I'll keep an eye on the site make sure that, there's no serious erosion problems or anything like that. And, I had asked her to send me an email, which she didn't do, so as time permits, I'll,
Okay.
keep on top of this.
Okay, thank you. Next up is the report of the planning board liaison. Hello, Chris, good evening.
Good evening, Chris LaValle, Chair of the Planning Board. We've had 2 meetings since I was last here. So in those meetings, we've kicked off the Managed Growth Strategy Task Force. We have approved the special permit for the Chelmsford Water District PFAS treatment upgrades. We approved 242 Billerica Road. We've had a lot of continuances for 152 Stedman and 133 Princeton. We had a traffic discussion for 191, 195 Riverneck in our next meeting, and we've got more coming, or in our last meeting and more coming in the next meeting. Next meeting is next week, in the middle of the 2 town meeting sessions. We're prepping for that. And we've got a town meeting preparation meeting tomorrow. So if any of you guys are town meeting reps and want to hear about the zoning articles ahead of time, feel free to join us.
Is this part of Paul's
Yeah,
session?
it's the
Okay.
Paul's prep session. And then we had approved SAOD applicability for 345 North Road and 91 Tingsboro Road. And those are pretty much the projects.
Do you know, I'm just curious, town meeting is your planning board, it's all of those are going to be bundled together on the second night?
So all of our zoning articles are going to be done on the second night, on the Thursday.
And the expectation is everything else will be done on the first night?
They're
Depending.
going to try and get everything done. I think Paul said we may or may not be able to get everything done.
Okay,
Anything that isn't done will go after the zoning articles on the second night.
okay, okay. Any other questions for Chris?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. David, do you know, are all those addresses he threw out there, are there any looming on us that we're going to be seeing that you know of?
I think just the 242
Yeah, okay,
Billerica Road.
okay.
91, I think, is in floodplain. 91 Tingsboro Road. Because
Oh, yes, and actually I had a preliminary conversation with Matt, who's here on another matter tonight.
Okay.
So, yeah, we will be
A
seeing
couple of
that one
those
as well.
we'll be seeing it,
Yes.
likely seeing it.
Yes.
So, yeah, well,
So,
we already have the other.
Good catch, Mark.
Okay, next up, we have a request for determination of applicability, Town of Chelmsford, DPW 91 School Street, and the applicant is Courtney Thompson, representing the town. I will note that, as I understand it, this is linked with the application following this.
Yeah, they're
linked,
related.
But they're related, but we're gonna take them separately and go
Yeah.
through this. Good evening, Courtney.
Hi.
We have to read the notice.
Oh, sorry.
Chris, can you read the notice?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing here at Room 204 on Tuesday, October 14, 2025, at 7 p.m. to consider the request for determination of applicability filed by the Town of Chelmsford Department of Public Works on behalf of property owner Hall Family Trust for proposed work within intermittent stream bank and associated 100-foot buffer zone at 91 School Street, further identified as Assessors Map 47/Block 199/Lot 9. The project entails removal of large stones and non-native accumulated material and sediment, installation of riprap, stabilization, and repair of culvert head wall in order to restore the flow channel of the existing intermittent stream. Removed material will be disposed of off-site.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Chris? Okay.
Great. I'm Courtney Thompson. I'm the stormwater engineer for the town of Chelmsford. So yeah, I'm seeking an RDA to remove non-native accumulated material from the swale at 91 School Street, directly upstream of the culvert that runs beneath School Street. Right now, there's a lot of exposed material and a lot of siltation, other non-native accumulated material. in the area we're looking to clean out, and then the RDA following me tonight is going to discuss removal of more non-native accumulated material along that property within the rest of that intermittent stream swale, or intermittent stream bank, or bed, all of which has accumulated over years, and it kind of causes a flat area. So when the stream does flow, it kind of just runs into the yard, and right now a lot of sediment is being rushed into our storm drain system. So we're hoping to remove as much material, accumulated material, as we can from the street. If we need to, we will come in with a compact machinery, remove what's necessary in that area immediately adjacent to the culvert. What we remove will be disposed of off-site, and then we will come in with compact machinery and put riprap to stabilize the banks. And then the residents, after both projects are done, will stabilize with clover or another type of, seed mix that makes sense for the area. We will be doing this work in no-flow conditions, which is right now. Hopefully, it will stay that way for a little while. And, it's all pretty straightforward. I did consult with the residents at 91 School Street because, them cleaning their area, which they'll discuss right after this, is beneficial. It's a win-win for all of us. So the area we're cleaning doesn't just refill with the sediment from the rest of that segment in their yard.
So this is downstream in this direction, right?
Yes, we're directly downstream of the stretch that they're gonna be discussing next. I met with them and their landscaper. Seems like we're all on the same page, and it's kind of a win-win, in my opinion, for all of, for everyone, for the Conservation Commission, for us, for them. Right now, it's very clear that's been years and years of just fill-in. So when it does flow, it just kind of planes out over their yard, kind of disperses all that. So we're just trying to restore it to near original conditions, that, to get some floodplain, capacity, and let that stream flow where it's supposed to be flowing. So.
Okay. David, do you have comments?
Just one question, Courtney. So what type of machinery, what kind of vehicles would you be using?
It's my understanding that the Stormwater Division would want to use, a small excavator, a compact excavator. Hopefully they can do most of the work from the road. If they need to go into the yard, that would be just for the very end, and then they might need to go into the yard to put some of that riprap stone in. But we would work from the street as much as possible, and that area is already a bit exposed, so we're just trying to remove that material. But if any material needs to leave, if any equipment needs to work off of the road, it would just be a compact, small excavator or, vehicle to bring the stone in.
Thank you.
Peter?
Hi, Courtney. Good
Hi.
evening. I might have mixed up the two applications, but I was looking at a map that showed a dump site on the
I can
property.
speak
If
on
I
that,
got these
too.
mixed up, what do you want to do with your?
So
Debris.
our material will be disposed of off-site, but I did consult with the applicants coming up next. The dump site that they're proposing to put their material in is far away, full of just, I think it's poke.
Oakley.
It's a very overgrown, invasive area far away behind their shed anyways, and we're talking, less than 20 cubic yards of material is what they'll be talking about in their RDA. But I did meet with them because, like I said, it's advantageous for us. So what we clean out doesn't just get refilled in. And you can't even, at some points, tell where the stream bed is supposed to be through their yard. So when it does rain, when it does flow, it just becomes an ice skating rink back there, so.
And one other question, the riprap that you described, what is the total length?
Oh,
The whole
it's
project or just by the culvert?
just by the culvert. It would just be
Ah.
where flow would be getting possibly quick through our, approaching our culvert to try to prevent sedimentation from entering our MS4. It would just be a small amount of riprap. The length of ours, I mean, it's just that area circled in red. I guess I don't know the length.
Yeah, no, that's good. And
It would
then,
just be right along the edges, just to secure that before it enters our storm drain to
Yeah,
try to
makes
prevent
sense.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like no more than 10 linear feet.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
well,
not
most.
whatever DPW thinks that you need to make it work.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a lot, though, no.
Yeah, good. And I'm sorry, I'd like to make one more comment. I've seen some of these projects in town where there were native shrubs in the bottom of the ditch. I'm curious if we have a policy, or does your program have a policy when you go to improve a flooding problem, which is something we're interested in too. Can you leave vegetation like a shrub in the drainage ditch itself? Or does that sort of violate your whole design concept?
I guess it would depend on the situation. In this particular site, there's really no shrubs in the drainage area of what we're talking about. And further on with what they're talking about, it's a lot of just overgrown mess within the channel.
Yep.
I don't think we'd be necessarily opposed to a shrub that's not causing inhibitive growth. But right now, in this channel that I'm discussing right now, in the RDA that's going to be following me, it is very much inhibitive growth growing within this channel.
Yeah.
But, we're very much, on board with native shrubs and such, stabilizing the banks.
Thank you.
If I might just add, I think the appropriate policy to has, if a shrub, if vegetation is growing in the accumulated sediment, then I think it can be removed.
Yeah, and there's, it's very much a foot or so of accumulated material. It's,
In other words, it would have to be removed to achieve the flood goal.
Yeah, and it's growing in stuff that shouldn't be there anyway, it's the non-native accumulated sediment.
yeah, and it's not like it's a big tree. Like it's, you want
Okay.
that flow to continue like how
Thank
it's
you.
supposed to be. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Ally? You're all set. Chris, anything?
No, it's a win-win.
Yeah, no, it seems like the normal thing to do.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Great.
I don't have any questions. I think it looks like a good thing to do. It sounds good. Now, it's a public hearing, so if there's anyone from the public who'd like to comment on this part of this RDA, please come forward with comments or concerns. I don't see anybody, so I'll take a motion to close this hearing.
I move to close the hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Motion from Chris,
Second.
second from Ally. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the hearing is now closed. Take a motion on this hearing. Do we have any special conditions?
I would say just to do it when it's dry. I mean,
Non-flow time.
certainly when there's no flow, but ideally when the soil is dry as well.
Okay.
All right, so I move then that we issue a negative determination, number 3, I believe, with condition that the work be done when the conditions are dry.
And I would also say, to the maximum extent practicable, remove only the non-native accumulated sediment.
Yep, okay. Motion from Chris,
Second.
second from Ally. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Yeah, and I'll stick around for their RDA too.
Okay,
Use
thank you
discussion.
very much. So, that one's all set. You'll get an order of conditions from David, and we will now start with the next one. So, this is an RDA for Charles Hall at 91 School Street, the applicant, and we also have another lovely legal notice for Chris to read.
Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing here in Room 204 at the town offices on Tuesday, October 14th, to consider the request for determination of applicability filed by Charles Hall on behalf of property owner Hall Family Trust for proposed work within intermittent stream bank and associated 100-foot buffer zone at 91 School Street, further identified as Assessors Parcel Map 47/Block 199/Lot 9. The project entails removal of non-native accumulated material / sediment and inhibitory vegetation to restore the flow channel of the existing intermittent stream. Removed material will be placed on site. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. So, who is speaking to this project? Yeah, all right. If you want to just, given that we just heard the first half of the story, you can just kind of tag on your part of the story here.
In the part we're doing,
I'm sorry, can you give your name and
Oh.
address, please?
Charles Hall, 91 School Street.
Thank you very much.
In the part we're talking about, there is quite a bit of true invasive. We've got multiflora rose and a lot of bittersweet, with, like that. So there'll be some of that involved in this. But mostly it's sediment that runs down the back of the slope from up on Monument Hill. And that's primarily sand and clay. And it makes a pretty serious flattening out of the stream bed. And it does flood. And when it floods, it's at times in the late winter and the spring, there is a real fast current going through my yard. So it should be, the point is to try to make that stream be a stream and not have it be just clay and sand.
Okay. David, do you have any comments? You have been to the site, I
Yes,
think.
yes.
Anything further on this part other than?
No, not in terms of, observations. I think, I would probably add one more special condition when we get to that.
Okay, all right. Start this time, John. You got any questions?
No, I think he's going over and above to straighten this problem out in his yard
Yep.
and working with the town. I think it's a great thing.
Okay, Bill?
I agree.
Okay.
Same thing.
I agree too. I mean, it's all about flood control, and we want to minimize the adverse impact that they're having as property owners, so I support this.
Ally?
Same that they just said, and then just to clarify, obviously, we're not rerouting anything, it's just scooping and
We're going to
removing
try and
material.
identify the natural stream course and follow that.
Okay.
There's some parts where you probably can't, but
Sure.
Good question.
Thank
you. Good. Thanks. Peter?
If you can, dump the debris on the multiflora roses and not the pokeberries, which are a hardcore native plant. But you'll have to
the
decide.
pokeberries we like because they're deer candy.
Yeah.
And we love our deer. So,
Yeah.
so the part that we're doing is actually behind most of the pokeberries, and there's really not much there because the bear has trampled it all down. So,
Thank you.
All right. So, again, this is a public hearing, so if there's any questions from the audience or from the public on this, no, I don't see anybody coming up, so I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
I move that we close this hearing.
Motion from Chris, second from Mark. All in favor to close the hearing?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So the hearing is now closed. David, you said you had a condition on this one?
Well, so it'd be the same as the other one, which is, dealing during completely dry conditions, and removing only a non-native accumulated sediment to the maximum extent practicable. But then a third one would be just me working closely with their contractor prior to the start of work, just to make sure that we're all on the same page about, the work sequence and where the removed material will be deposited and, managed, just that sort of
Okay.
thing.
this is the contractor right
Oh.
here, Wayne Carolyn.
Okay.
That way.
What's the name of the firm?
Bear Hill Landscaping
Bear-
out of Westford.
Bear Hill Landscaping in Westford, okay. Thank you very much. Good, yeah, we can just make sure they connect with David, yep, okay. That's the one additional
Yeah.
condition, okay?
I move that we issue a -3 determination approving the project as described as with the 3 conditions that our agent just announced.
Second.
Second from Bill, motion from Chris, second from Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much, appreciate you coming in. Good luck with the project. It's
Do you
it's
have
a
a
good
card?
thing.
by chance? Okay. Well, when you have a chance, Courtney and Charles have my email as well, so just get in touch when you have a chance. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Yeah, thank you.
We? Good. All right, next up, we are just flying here. Next up, we have 242 Billerica Road, notice of intent. This is continued from August 25th, Avatar Construction. We have familiar faces coming up. Mr. Cowell from Hancock Associates representing the applicant. This was opened on August 12th. Yeah, our last meeting was the 26th. And as I recall, we had a tree maintenance plan that we did see, that came to us. We have that. What else did we have that was open? Tree protection for site plan, I think we were looking for.
I also wanted to see where the access for the tree planting was going to be. It's not on this plan, it's on the site plan, but,
That's right.
see.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you, Carl, for leading. Again, for the record, David Cowell with Hancock Associates here on behalf of the applicant, and Doug Deschaines, attorney on behalf of the applicant. So, yeah, this is a continued hearing in this matter. As of the last hearing, we had coordinated, David had actually sent us a list of comments received from the last hearing, and I believe we addressed all of those. As of our last submittal, we submitted revised site plans. We coordinated the site access and added those to the civil set. We did have James Emanuel revise the landscape plan to show the tree protection detail. There were some questions about how we're going to address watering, and we've put that in there. There's actually a third submittal that James did as well, which is the tree maintenance plan, which is it's a 2 or 3 page narrative that I think we were asked that we could provide, as supplement to the plan for how we intend to, operate and maintain this after it. And with that, I think I'll keep my presentation brief. We are open to any further questions and considerations from the Conservation Commission. And ideally, we'd like to be in a position where we can start to talk about special conditions for the site. So with that, I would turn it back to the
I
commission.
had only one thing that I picked up on that tree, the tree plan was, it didn't have the property name on the plan itself, not on this.
On the landscape plan, not the,
On the tree maintenance plan, I think it was, the Word
oh,
document.
the Word
PDF,
document.
Yeah. It was just super generic. It was
Oh,
perfectly
okay,
good,
yeah.
but it didn't say like tree plan for
For 242
242.
Bill Ricker Road.
a
What's that?
little nitpick.
No, but that's recognized. I mean, I hope that wouldn't hold up the potential to
No,
close
no.
the public hearing, but that's something we could certainly revise to add
Yeah.
site location and
Yes,
provide
yeah,
that
that's
shortly
all. It's
thereafter.
very simple.
Yeah, no worries.
David, do you have anything else that you were?
No, I'm actually pretty good with everything that's been submitted, in response to the requests. I can't think of much of anything else. I am just curious for informational purposes, where do things stand with the Board of Health?
Oh, yeah, that's Doug's role.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, good evening. We actually,
Sorry, say your name again.
Douglas Deschaine from Finneran and Nicholson,
Thank you.
representing the applicant. We were actually at the Board of Health last week. We went in to talk to them about their proposed testing requirements that they had imposed, and we have hired an LSP to come in and help us oversee the action. He did a presentation on the prior use of the property and the suggestion that it's a low-risk site, given that it's always been residential. However, the Board of Health did point out that they have experienced problems with contamination and more often PFAS at every kind of site, whether it's residential or otherwise. And so they did, although we asked, they did not back off on their required testing. However, we've agreed to do it. They have agreed to allow us to do the testing as we begin construction, so that when we get out there to start moving soil, and we're going to address the existing septic system to see what is still there, they did provide us a plan for required testing. I believe our LSP is going to provide a testing protocol for them, but we're in agreement. We can move forward as long as we agree to do the testing, and we're going to do it. So I think we're in good shape. Now, what happens when we find the testing? We will, if we do in fact find something, we will be required to report that, as you know, and would likely report it to both this board and the planning board as well.
Was there anything with the water district also?
The water district the water district was actually comfortable. They didn't require any testing or any action on our part, which is why we, then wondered why the Board of Health, but they have separate jurisdictions and separate responsibilities, so we understand. But we've agreed to do it, and they've agreed to let us move forward. So
Okay,
we're
thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. So why don't we ask the commission if you have further follow-up questions? We've been on this road for a while, but, not a while, but, yeah, Peter, you want to start?
No questions. I just wanted to thank you and your team for a well-thought-out landscape plan. And I don't know, some of these sites, they're a challenge because you're trying to get a big footprint on a small site, and you guys worked hard to show a lot of native vegetation and come up with plans and respond to this commission's comments. And I just appreciate that, so thank you.
All right, Ally,
Thank you, Peter.
you're good? Chris, anything?
No questions, Carl.
Yeah, Mark?
No, I'm glad to see the Board of Health having to do some testing out there. I wish the water department was so active as that, but I'll find out why. Thank you.
I like the plan. I think it's a good plan. Thanks.
Thank you.
John?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I think there's some challenges with how you're gonna get into the back area and all that. That's a very tight squeeze, but that's,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, do you want to talk about that?
Well,
or- yeah,
actually, I
that's
did
it. Yeah.
want to mention only by way of thanking our neighbors,
Oh,
but
okay.
in fact, Hub Foundation, which is our bordering neighbor here,
Yep,
and they have their parking lot, about to right here.
okay.
They have fencing and materials here, but they've agreed to allow us to remove the materials, open up their fence, and it allows us to get
Oh, nice.
right in there with little or no disturbance
Nice,
whatsoever.
nice. That's
It's really
great. Good.
And then we've promised, actually, by the time we get here, we're literally planning, on the back, and we told them we would rake and clean on the way out. So I
Nice.
just wanted to recognize that they were very
Good to hear.
neighborly in working with us.
We had a
They're good
hearing with
people.
them, yeah, we had a hearing with them like 4 or 5 years ago. They were good, as I remember. It was good to work with them. It was a while ago. Okay, all right, this is a public hearing, so are there any comments from the public? If we have any input or questions, comments from the public, I don't see anybody moving. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we close this public hearing.
Okay, we have a motion to close the hearing from Chris, second from John. All in favor of closing?
Aye.
Aye, okay, it's unanimous to close the hearing. So do we have any special conditions on this?
I guess, let's just, David, do you need some time to write some special conditions, or how do we shape up?
I think I actually have a pretty good handle on that, at least up here. So I think, a standard condition is that, I typically go out and review the installation of the erosion control. After that's been done, I don't know whether I'll be doing that in this case or DPW will be doing it. I think DPW generally, monitors these kinds of projects, so I'll talk to them about that. But that's standard. But in this case, I would also want to review the installation of the tree protection, the protection for the trees that will be remaining. So I'd like to review that, once after that's in and before any further work starts. I'll also like to be, once the tree planting in the rear commences, I'd like to be given a daily report. I don't know how long that would typically take. You have any idea how long?
To do,
To plant all of those trees in backwood. I think there's how
They've
many?
estimated the back trees, 3 days.
Okay,
say
3
a couple
days.
days.
Weather,
Yeah,
permitting.
Okay, so
And rocks permitting.
And working days.
ideally, I'd like to have a progress report, daily, so if it's 3 days, 3 reports at the end of each day.
Sure.
By your contractor or who's ever doing the planting. And then just, it's basically, again, more standard, just monitoring and reporting on the progress of the tree plantings, the success of the tree plantings. I think, did you say you'd be agreeable to 2 years or 3 years? on that.
We'd of course prefer 2 years, but we'd be amenable to 3. I think we had talked about that. We thought 5 was a long
Yeah,
period.
five
but-
stuff, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you're okay with 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, I can come up with the exact language, but again, it's something that's actually rather standard at this point for things like plantings and wetland replication. I can, you know.
Okay.
Can I add one thing? Yeah, I just want to make a comment more for your guys' benefit, because you're committing to long-term survivability, but we've seen some challenges in town on tree planting details, and a lot of landscapers miss the part about how deep to put the plant.
Yep.
And your experts know the right thing, but a lot of landscapers don't. And we've had cases where we've actually asked people to replant trees because they were too low. Not the commission, but in town. So just a word to the wise, it might save you all some trouble if you can get a grip on that depth part.
Absolutely. Yeah, Peter, that comment is recognized, as I do a lot of, albeit I don't do installation, I do monitoring of installation as a restoration ecologist. And that is a common problem, that we either they bury it, more often than not, it's not that they bury it too deep, but they bury it too shallow, and it's called crowning. So if you know, with trees, or especially with potted plants, if there's so much as if they don't dig it deep enough and there's a 1 inch where the crown sticks out, those are far more prone to mortality than if they get those in at a level detail. So again, I think that David's idea of having this monitored on a daily basis during execution would hopefully prevent that, to have an expert working with the landscape contractors while they put this on the ground.
It'll save your client money in the end.
Absolutely, yep. And that's how I explain it to clients, is that if this fails, then you're on the hook. You know, and of course, and we expect some sort of performance standard. I would recommend 80% survivorship. I know that was a question of the Conservation Commission, as a standard by which we would deem it successful. So if you know, 8 out of 10 trees are anticipated to survive after the 3-year monitoring period and be on trajectory towards success.
Yeah, and we might coordinate with the planning board. My understanding is they have a in perpetual requirement for landscape shrubs, although I don't know that firsthand.
Right. It was a comment, I think, that David, you might have provided us, was after the monitoring period, was that whether or not, well, and it's up to the Conservation Commission, if you condition it, that you've already conditioned that they need to do inspection reports once annually for stormwater, and with those once annual reports, you can also ask for them to you know, their landscape company to opine on the trees as well. So
Okay.
that's not fair.
You got that, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm ready to make a motion then. Make a motion then that we issue our order of conditions to approve the project, and that we have a number of conditions, as you've just heard, that we have the erosion control reviewed by our agent to make sure that everything's going to be satisfactory.
The tree protection.
Tree protection and we'll consider them
Well,
both.
yeah, I'm
Tree
getting that.
protection
So-
and erosion control BMPs will be installed.
Exactly.
He's getting to it.
I was getting to it.
Yeah, I got you, Chris.
It's all right. So, yeah, so the erosion controls.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the tree protection, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to have that review going on at the tree protection, and we're looking for those daily reports for what we anticipate to be 3 business days of work. So the daily reports for progress on that, and then also the 3-year viability for the trees as well, with a success rate of 80% surviving over the 3 years as a standard. And we have reporting provided to our agent on that. Anything else do we want?
That was it.
Fair?
Okay.
I think that sounds good.
Okay, so motion from Chris. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ally. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you
Much
very
appreciated.
Yep, same here.
Good luck on this project. Okay. Next up, we have, this one's continued from our last meeting, notice of intent. Dylan Lee for Russell Road. Matthew Haymore is here from Landplex, representing the applicant. Okay, so as I recall, at the end of our last meeting, we had a straw vote on this, where we approved it on the straw vote. And David has done a draft of the special conditions based on that, and I trust you've had a chance to review them all, but maybe you want to take a moment to, I don't know if you have something you want to talk about here?
Yeah, thank you, Chair and members of the commission. For the record, Matt Hammer, Lamplex Engineering, 60 Fletcher Street in Lowell, Mass. So there was a plan change that was requested. We added dimensions to the plan from the structure to the Freeman Lake. Additionally, we added a work sequence to the plan. We also added a temporary sedimentation basin if it's needed for dewatering to install the footings. So we added that detail as well. We also prepared a operation and maintenance plan, which is tied into the deed restriction, which outlines the maintenance and the inspections and the reports necessary to maintain the catch basin structures at mainly at the intersection at Cart Path Road and Russell Road. So there's a full document in that regard. And then additionally, there was a deed restriction document, a draft document that we provided to Mr. Coons as well. We also have met with Mr. Coons to go over some of these materials, and we've reviewed the order of conditions that was drafted by Mr. Coons as well, and we're agreeable with the order of condition, special conditions in its entirety.
Okay.
I can put it to the commission.
Okay. And we've had a chance, I think we got it in the package that you sent Friday,
Yes,
right, David?
yes.
Yeah, so we had a chance to look at it. So I'll go around the commission. John, do you have any questions on that?
I'm abstaining.
You're abstaining.
I'm abstaining.
Okay. Bill, do you have any?
I have a few questions. But, so are we at the point where have enough votes to override the waiver? Is that what we're looking at? Are we?
That's how it came up. That's how it came up
Okay,
last
so-
time.
Okay. All right, I had a couple of questions, and then I'll come back to my reasoning. Why I'm asking these. There's some fencing up along Groton Road, like 6 sections of fencing that's kind of fallen over into the wetlands.
Okay.
Is that on your property? Is that part of your property?
I do not know where that fencing
You
is.
know what I'm
It's
talking
not-
about? Across from the senior center along Groton Road, there's fencing all the way up near the Red House.
The Davenports?
Yeah, is that your fence or their fence?
No, that would be their fence.
Their fence up that,
Yeah.
that far? Okay. All right, the roads that's depicted on your plan, right? That's not what's there. The road that's depicted in this plan with the heavy black line, that's not the road. That's what the road
So
is supposed to be, right? It's not depicting the road that's there existing.
So we do depict the road that's existing.
Yeah, in a very light line.
That line is here.
Right.
Yep.
So you show, I'm just want to clarify, I'm not, you do have it marked on the plan, edge of pavement, but, with the existing road, but it's very confusing. If you look at this plan, that Russell Road that's shown here isn't there, that's not it. It's, because you've got 14 feet from that road to the front of your house,
So I can clarify.
proposed house. But you show it at 14 feet.
This is correct. So this is the right-of-way, the layout of Russell
Right,
Road.
but what's there is 5 feet from the house.
The pavement itself.
Right.
Correct.
The reason I'm asking, I would like to see on the plan, the set of plans that we finalize, that be highlighted, the existing road, because you can't tell, unless you really know what you're looking at, you can't tell that road, the layout, it's not what's there.
So yes, we've we realize that the plan can be confusing.
It's deceiving that.
There's a lot of lines, right?
You're right, but
Yep.
you don't, I want to be able to see, I want somebody to be able to look at that and say, okay, the actual road that's there, that isn't going to change, it may be on your property, but it is 5 feet from the front of the house, where the average person would look at this and say, no, you're 14 feet back from the road,
Right.
right?
So in the past, we've provided this color plan
Yep,
to identify pavement, green, and building, so
Right.
that it was a little clearer by colors.
Right.
To show the differentiation between the primary areas of the application.
right.
Yeah, so that's why we've always had this colored plan to kind of clarify and identify where those main
Well, I
components
think
are.
on the plan that's submitted, because you're going to the Board of Appeals for
That's
a
correct.
variance.
Yeah.
So it's confusing. I want to see something that shows what's actually there, maybe highlight it, shade it, the existing road, and you can still have
So I can put
a
this-
layout.
I can provide a copy to the
Okay, it's just
file.
confusing.
I'll provide a copy to the file
Right.
of this rendering to make it clear in the file as
Right.
an additional exhibit, which we've always submitted.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying you didn't. I'm just saying it's very confusing
Yeah.
if you look at it.
Understood.
Okay. Now, on your areas that you're doing, like along the lake, you've got an area that's highlighted as restoration area, right?
That's correct.
Okay. The rest of the area along the lake is kind of barren. Is there no plan to do any plantings there?
We had identified the one area,
Well, the one area that's there has
Previously-
already got trees on it.
right, so we have identified the one area previously as that area to be added to the restoration area, which I believe was a specific request by one of the commission members.
Mhm.
And then we also added the other three.
Do you have a plan from Norse yet to, excuse me, of how you're going to do these areas?
Yeah, we do. We have a written narrative that was originally
For each
submitted
area?
for restoration.
Okay.
I've sat down with Mr. Coons, and part of the special condition
Yep.
was to re-review specific plans
Yep.
with Norse Environmental and Mr. Coons prior to those
So
restorations.
this is the wording that I put in up here.
Yep,
Whoops.
it's on page 1.
Okay, so that's that's not something that's coming later on.
Yes, prior to the start of construction, so we'll have
But
to
I'm-
have all those plans.
And who's going to approve if somebody says, I'm going to put 2 plants in?
No, so sorry, Mr. Vine. So we
Yeah.
originally submitted a narrative
Yeah.
for restoration areas.
Okay.
Which is a collection of trees and shrubs and,
Okay, so
and ground cover plantings.
Right. I just don't want to see something come later on that's not adequate for what.
Yeah,
we're
so,
doing.
so Mr. Coons and I did discuss that
Okay.
specifically, and that's why this is added in as a special
All right,
condition.
so you feel comfortable with that, David?
I'm comfortable with it, but I'm certainly happy to bring the plans back to the full commission, if that's the way you'd
I'm just,
like to.
I'm just bringing up some things that I saw. So why wasn't the area that's not, that's the along the lake that's not part of that restoration, why is that left the way it is and not included in it?
So at the last commission meeting, we had shown this restoration area as an area that we were proposing for a restoration area.
Right.
And it wasn't identified at that meeting that should be expanded in any way.
Okay.
So-
But you own that property. There's a
We
reason
do
why
own
I'm
that
getting to
property,
this.
yes.
Okay.
So that's the 155 square foot area up here.
No, that's the one that's
Yes.
circled in this?
Yes.
Okay, because, all right, my next question, you're removing the sheds, like 10 by 20 shed, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's 200 square feet. Okay, I brought up at the last meeting, and this is why I think maybe I'm not as far along as these other people are. I'm only 1 vote out of the 7, but in my mind, you've got 200 feet of shed you're taking down, if they're willing to waive the 50-foot on the front of this, I suggested at the last meeting that we also waive, and you only waive in the areas that are, you're not waiving the whole 50-foot, you're waiving just what's part of the plan. The shape of that house is ridiculous. I wouldn't want to build that house. I want to see that house as a part of a project. And I mentioned the garage that we had a few years back, that they cut the corner of the garage off, was ridiculous. I feel like this is just as ridiculous to make someone have to build this house, whether it's these people or he could sell this as a lot to someone else, and someone's stuck with this shape lot. And if you do the calculations, which I've done, it's about 120 square feet of area, 4 sheets of plywood laying on the ground that you would have to waive of the back waiver to make that a rectangle instead of that shape, the goofy shape you have. I'd rather do this work with them. I would ask for you in return for doing that you would plant along the rest of the beach. A little give and take. That area that we just discussed on the beach that's not part of your planting, I would like to see, because it's a give and take.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking a 200-foot shed out that's in the buffer,
Mm-hmm.
and all I would say is you're trading that off for 120 feet of squaring that house up, to give whoever owns this property the option of putting something there that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't have to be a 32-foot tall banana like it shows here. Maybe you could put something that's more cohesive with the rest of the neighborhood. It'd look nicer. So to stick with that funny-shaped house, I would want a little bit something more from them, and that's why I asked about the fence. If that's his fence, take that down because it's falling into the wetlands, but it's not. But I would plant along the beach, and I would square up that house, and if you're gonna waive the front, and I was against waiving any of these in the beginning, until I looked the plan last time, and David brought up the fact that you've got a street there, you've got area that's been lawn, you've got a telephone pole with electric service, you've got a stub for a sewer, so it's not a pristine buffer zone that we're just throwing this thing into. So I would rather do this project correctly, and instead of building that goofy-looking thing that's there, it's not going to take away from the wetland by giving them 120 feet to square that thing, make a rectangle out of that. It's not hurting anything. And I would also, so that's my spiel on that. My other thing I've thought about, and I've thought about this a lot, is you brought up the drainage down the street. To be honest with you, I would not want to encumber that lot with the problem of maintaining the drainage that it's not even on the property. You're on someone else's property, you're forcing whoever owns this house at any point that they're responsible for drainage that's not on their property, that's part of the whole street. To me, that doesn't make sense to do that to somebody. I wouldn't want to own that house knowing that I have to maintain the drainage on somebody else's land down the street. I don't think it's legal, first of all, to do that. So maybe I'm not as far along as everybody else. I'll tell you, if it comes down to voting for this house, out of principle, because I went through the other thing with the garage, and I didn't like that, I would vote against this, knowing that you maybe have the votes to pass it, but out of principle, I would vote against it, because I don't think we should make somebody put that house that's that shape. I would like to see you have the next meeting come back with something that makes sense as far as a house. You're not taking away from the wetlands, and it doesn't do anything to the wetlands. Now, I'm not here to help you build a house. I'm here to look at the wetlands, and that's not affecting the wetlands. But I don't want to be a part of something that is ridiculous looking. So that's my spiel.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Come back to vote. Okay, Mark.
There is. Well, in the beginning, I was against this. I don't think it's not being consistent with our law, or regulation, I should say. The house, I hear Bill, and you can whatever you want there, but it's what you want to do. I'm not really in favor of this project. If I had to vote on this now, I think I would vote against it. For a number of reasons. The way it's gonna look isn't, I shouldn't bring that up. It's not our we should worry about. I just think when I'm trying to make something nice and it's something that's never gonna be nice. It's not a building lot. It's trying to force something in there to put a house on it, whether it be for financial gain, or whatever the reason is. So I'm still thinking no on this. That's it.
Okay,
I just wanted,
Mr. Garahan.
I wanted to see if David could just kind of take us very quickly, you had it up for a few minutes, the special conditions, and I know I've looked at it, I have it on my phone too, but
Okay, do you want
we
to
could just,
go
we just
back
look
to the
through
beginning?
those. Yeah, just so we could walk through those conditions, make sure we understand them. I think that's important.
But you want to go through the first why, this is written from the standpoint of the commission approving it, look at the reasons why.
Yeah.
Oops.
Are we in discussion, Carl?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, this is Chris's time right now.
Thank you.
So just looking at what's in front of us now, we've got item one was the commission's determination, we'll be making a determination that the proposed dwelling in appurtenances will have no adverse impacts on the lake. So that's the first item. The second item would be that there be no trees removed. Number three, that we have an existing 200 square foot structure and the fencing located within the 25-foot no disturb wetlands will be removed and the location of the structure will be restored with native vegetation. Number four, the applicant would agree to a perpetual restriction covenant to be recorded in the property's chain of title for the maintenance of stormwater management on Russell Road, which was kind of alluding to a point Mr. Vines was making earlier. And then number five was the approximately 4,162 total square foot of wetland resource area and buffer zone restoration plantings that would be on and off-site as proposed as mitigation. So those would be.
If I could just add
Yeah,
something on
David.
point four.
Yeah.
Town council currently is in the process of reviewing the proposed restriction/covenant. If he comes back and says, yeah, no, that's not legal, that you can't, the commission can't require that, that the owner of that property to do something off the property, then that whole thing is off anyway. So
Okay.
I would suggest letting council complete his review, see what he comes back with.
I mean, Mr. Vines did raise kind of a fundamental fairness question about that whole situation. So I'd be interested to see if that's legal or not, but he certainly raised a good question on fairness of it. All right, so I just want to make sure we're looking at those conditions. I personally see hardship on the applicants. It's a tough property to work with, and I'm sympathetic to the fact that, they've been working hard to try to come up with something that could pass muster here. So I'm sympathetic to hardship, but, that's where I'm at the moment.
Okay, Ally,
Um,
welcome to the commission.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. All right. So previously you had mentioned, and I couldn't quite make out the number, but it was 1/10,000th or 1/19,000th of an inch of groundwater impact. Can you confirm if that was based on a lake-wide displacement calculation?
Yes, it was.
Lake-wide? Okay, so to clarify, it was not site-specific in regards to groundwater and footing depth?
It was to show that if you took the volume of the area of the lake, that would be the net impact.
Okay. And then speaking of groundwater, I know you just had mentioned this temporary sedimentation basin here. So last time we had discussed groundwater and dewatering methods, and my question was that, after looking at previous plans, was there a finalization on that in terms of method or storage, discharge point, such as using like a frac tank or a frac truck? But obviously you bring this up, so I guess my concern would be, a discharge point from that, the capacity of it and the maintenance of it. Can you speak to that at all?
So the dewatering system is there in the event that it's needed for the footings. These are going to be very small diameter footing holes, so we don't anticipate the dewatering volume to be to exceed the capacity for this sedimentation basin. Essentially, the water goes into the basin. If there is any sedimentation within that water, it settles out in the basin, and the water filtrates out of the basin, and that'll be directed towards the wetland area.
Okay. And then in terms of obviously getting rid of the sedimentation, would that be done off-site, or where would that be done?
That sedimentation would be taken off-site.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, in lieu of handcuffing us with language, and I apologize because I am new here, but was there any consideration in the list of conditions for dewatering or groundwater management in our list of conditions? Since the lake is 40 feet away, would that be something we could do or not do? And I apologize if I'm kind of hanging us out to dry with that, but is that something?
You can add any additional conditions beyond what is being proposed?
Yeah, in terms of list of conditions, in terms of groundwater management and dewatering and disposal of.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, that's a general condition. I think it's a question of how it's specifically handled. Now, here it says see detail. Where is the detail on this? Okay, that's up there.
So I just, this will be water that's coming from the ground in a very virgin, natural state, as opposed to a construction site where there's a lot going on with equipment and everything. So I think you're going to find that the water that comes out of, if it's needed for these footings, we anticipate that it will be for the bottom couple feet, that it's going to be a very small amount of clean water that'll be going into the sedimentation basin.
I think it would be important in this case, again, to work really closely with the contractor. Because I've certainly experienced times where, a contractor will look at an engineer's plan and says, no, we cannot do it that way. So again, I think it would be a matter of, if the contractor feels that it can't be done this way, they're going to have to propose something in detail about how they actually want to do it, and
right.
Maybe it might take a little bit of back and forth on that, but I think it's doable.
And that would be reviewed by yourself, if they wanted to bring a tank in to do the dewatering.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly be honest and say if there's something that either I didn't like or I didn't understand or I thought wouldn't work, then I might say, no, you gotta bring it back to the commission. But hopefully, the contractor working with you, will be able to come up with something. If it's not this, something that's, just as effective and that I agree will work.
Yeah, and this is a very common dewatering system that we're proposing to the commission. So we're confident that this is going to suffice, and if it needs to be expanded or a replacement needs to be brought in order to get these footings in, then we would most certainly need to consult with you, Mr. Coons, and bring it before you if you deem necessary to bring it before the commission.
Thank you.
Peter?
Yeah, hi. Just two quick things, because we had a pretty long discussion last time. I don't want to repeat all those points. Bill, I understand what you're saying, and I think that's our quandary. You know, there's good arguments for and against, and there's also that consistency argument that we talked about last time. So I do have one quick question and then a comment. My question is really for you, David. If this were approved, we would approve this site plan, and yet the shrubbery along the lake is not mentioned, I don't think, in the permits. It is on the plan, but the plan calls it a proposed shrub area.
Yeah.
So help me out with the legality. If we approve of a plan that said proposed shrub restoration, is that ironclad that it has to be built, or should we take out the word proposed?
Well,
It's down here on the bottom, yeah. It's just a minor point, but
well, it's you know, I mean, it's the same thing that says the proposed two-story single-family dwelling. I mean, the assumption, if the assumption is that if it's shown on the plan, it's going to be done.
Okay.
Now, again, that's go back to the special condition that says that prior to the start of construction, that specific planting plan has to be submitted to me for approval. Again, if the commission would rather I bring it back to you for approval, you know, happy to do that. But I mean, Norse knows what they're doing.
No,
I trust that they would do something that's, you know, good.
yeah, I was just trying to avoid a situation where it's a year from now and there's a conversation like, well, it said proposed, not a commitment. Is that an issue or not?
I won't sign off on the building permit application until I approve that plan.
Okay.
You know.
And then I guess just a final comment, then we can move on. One way I've been looking at this, Bill, I understand what you're saying. I think our job here is to be sure the projects comply with our wetland town bylaws and the State Wetland Protection Act. And I think we agree this plan does comply with that one big exception, the waiver. So I think we're in agreement that it does meet our requirements, our legal requirements, with that one exception, which of course is a big exception. Was that a fair statement? We don't need to discuss it, but it's my thinking. Yeah. Thanks, Carl.
Okay. So my comments are, we are focused on protecting natural resources. That's our job. I don't think that stormwater maintenance covenant feels good either. The more I think about that, and Bill framed it really well. I'm like, that just doesn't feel right. I think it's a good thing to have stormwater maintenance there, but I don't see that in there, and I'm not comfortable with that. But we do have a bylaw of 50 feet, and Chris, I hear you talking about the hardship, and I'm struggling there. I really have a hard time with hardship in this application. And I don't think we want to do a house redesign. I think, you know, we have to vote on the application in front of us. And I really don't want to give up on the rear wetlands if there was a house redesign. You know, that's like, no way. So I'm really struggling on this one too. I think I said at the end of the last meeting that we can't be sure that everyone will stay with the same votes, and from what I'm hearing, that's coming true. So I think we need to close the hearing, though. I think we need to see if there's anyone in the public that wants to speak. So we can ask for members of the public, and you are a member of the public, so you can speak.
Dylan Lee, 20 Russell Road. And no, Mr. Vines, I do appreciate with what you're saying. And in May, if you'll remember at that meeting, I did come here with a site plan, and the building was a rectangle. And Old Westford Road was right up before me, and you guys made them move that corner of the garage out of the 50 foot of the wetland. And I came up after them, and you all told me, We just made them do it, so you have to do it. And I spent another, you know, I've redesigned this building 3 times. I've spent $46,000. And so, yeah, to redesign it again is, I mean, I'm running on fumes here. But I didn't want to build a banana house. I did the rectangle so it could be built modular, and there's no construction site. I could just drop 3 modulars on top of each other and still do the restoration, and that was fine. And I thought that was a good plan. And I was told to move the corners of that building, so that's, you know, the way it is. I don't know if I can square it off on the 2nd and 3rd floor and make it look, keep the base the same and square it off on the 2nd or 3rd floor, but, you know, redesigning it is, and it's the same thing with the restriction for the drainage basins. I mean, these are all things we agreed to because they were proposed to us. We didn't come up with these things, you know, in all honesty. These were all told as conditions that we would need to meet in exchange for these waivers. And, you know, if we go through the history of my street, Gloria built her house in '99, standard, you know, 5-foot foundation, frost wall, crawl space. Mike's house had a huge addition in 2000. 16 Russell Road is 1 foot outside of the 50-foot. And they had to write 4 sentences to build their house and get a special permit. You know, our file is an inch thick. You've seen it. And, you know, I know it's a tall order to get these waivers. I mean, I'm not sure what else we could really, you know, show at this point to change your guys' mind.
Okay, so this is in the public. Anybody else that wants to get up and speak?
Laura Luna, 28 Rosen Road. I don't know what else you need from us. We're putting everything, and I know you're here and you don't care. You don't have to care, like what we have to done to present this project and to keep this project alive. You don't have to care, but you should, because everything has been put it through this. Our neighbors doesn't talk to us anymore. Like, I don't know what else you want from us. We are doing everything by the rule. We come in every other week or every 2 weeks with more engineers hours, lawyers hours, architect. Just tell us, because, you know, at this point, just make a decision. Even if it's a negative one, for the love of God, just make a decision. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're at a point, no more public comment, okay. I think we can close the hearing. Oh.
Sorry, may I just?
Yeah, okay. One more.
Barbara Madden, 16 Russell. I just want to be sure that even these guys realize that 16 Russell was an existing house that people lived in and had lived in for more than 75 years, I think. And that's why that house was allowed to be moved a little out of the wetlands and redone. That was an existing home with people living in it. This is a lot that's just, it's, you know, doesn't fit the rules of what a new construction place can be. It's only had a shed on it. And I just really want that to be understood, because my house, I get a lot of negativity because, like, oh, I got to build my house. Well, my house was, it was the house, you know what I mean? The house was already there. We lived in it. It was a family home. It wasn't new, it was new construction because we had to move it. But it was a house already. It wasn't a shed that nobody ever lived in. The number thing got messed up with my old number. There was never anyone living in the shed, and I think that's really a big thing for the contention of how my house got built. And there's a lot of negativity that way. But it's not an existing lot that meets the requirements in town. So that really confuses me, why they weren't just, I hate that they spent all this money, and they should have just been told, you can't do that from the beginning. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so I think we're at a point to close the hearing. Do I take a motion to,
I make a motion that we close this public hearing.
motion from Chris to close the hearing? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mark. All in favor to close the hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. John,
I'm abstaining.
you're abstaining on this?
Yep.
Okay, all right, so 6 in favor to close and 1 abstaining. So now now we can have any further discussion on this if anyone wants to discuss it any further, or we can go to a vote.
I'll make a motion, I mean, we can talk about it, but let me make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion that we waive the 50-foot prohibition that's under our local bylaw, section 187.5, which limits having any buildings closer than 50 feet of a resource area, and that we make that decision based on the provisions that the literal enforcement of that provision would involve demonstrated substantial hardship to the applicants, and that desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying the intent and purpose of our bylaw. That's my motion.
Okay. And you included the conditions that we've seen from David's write-up?
Well, I was gonna just do the waiver now, and then we have to then move on to our order of conditions, and we'd be voting actually under our bylaw and the state laws as well, too.
Help me out there, so are we gonna do 3 votes? Or, no, we would just do 2 votes, one on the waiver.
Yeah, I think you do the two, so you'd combine the waiver with the special conditions, if it's approved, I guess. Let me see. Well, what you can do is you can add to your motion, Chris, you can add, XYZ special conditions. And then we can have that discussion, and then if the vote fails, then I guess it doesn't really matter whether it fails on, the waiver or fails on the special conditions. Let me think about that.
So I don't think we want to separate the Wetlands Protection Act and the bylaw.
Well,
We've done that. We've
Well,
done
I
that when
think,
there's an
I
issue.
think we do.
We
because,
do have to
I mean,
do
there's
No justification for the Wetlands Protection Act.
I mean, that would just a waste of everyone's time
Yeah.
to deny it under the Wetlands Protection Act. That would be a waste of the commission's time, of DEP's time. So that actually can be the
I mean,
first
we
motion.
could take a vote on that first, actually,
Yeah,
address,
yeah.
and then maybe that's a
Yeah.
cleaner, simpler way. We just take a vote under the state, the State Wetlands Protection Act, that we issue an order of conditions with the conditions that, maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll just withdraw my motion on the waiver under our bylaw. Let's address the state law, which is really, I think, pretty clear cut, right?
Clear cut that it complies
Yeah,
with the
it's in
state.
compliance with the state law.
Yeah.
So why don't I do that? Why don't I make a motion then that we issue our standard conditions, order of conditions under the state, under our state regulations, and that we have the special conditions that our agent had proposed, and we had just gone through. That's my motion then, and it's under the state law, so we're not dealing with, our bylaw.
State Wetlands
Yeah,
Protection.
State Wetlands
Okay.
Protection Act.
Second.
So motion from Chris on that, second from Bill. Any further discussion on that?
So we have to approve that because it's the state,
That's the general feel.
Yeah.
We don't have a basis to.
whether we agree with it or not.
Right. We don't have a basis to deny it.
Right.
Okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Who seconded that?
Oh,
I did.
I thought Bill, yeah, sorry, Bill.
All right, I might
Yeah,
have missed it
I
then.
saw him raise his hand,
Yeah.
but I didn't say it. Bill.
That was under our chapter,
Second, Bill.
that was under our chapter 130, Mass General Laws, chapter 131, section 40.
And John, did you abstain on that?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, so the record is, I think it was 6 ayes and 1 abstain. Okay?
Okay. So then turning to our,
So, and actually, as I'm thinking about this a little bit more, I think you probably do have to do 2 votes. Because I think depending on whether you vote to grant or deny the waiver.
Right.
You could still
Yeah.
issue an order of conditions that doesn't explicitly deny the project, but which the special conditions you approve then effectively make it, denied, make it impossible to comply with the conditions.
I'm not following you, I'm sorry.
So you could, just saying for the sake of discussion, you could hypothetically say that you're not granting the waiver to the 50-foot no disturb. But then you say, well, you want a special condition in the order that says you have to get the house entirely outside the 50-foot, setback. Essentially a denial,
Yeah.
but it's not explicitly a denial.
yeah, because it's been many years since we actually did any waivers of the bylaw, but the last time I remember many years ago, we took the vote on the waiver first.
Yeah.
And then, after that vote went down, then we proceeded to the order
Yeah, I
of
do
conditions.
think you need to do it that way.
Do it.
And thinking a little bit more
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that's how we did it like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then we'll do it that way. So that means it is, in the end, 3 votes.
Yeah.
So 1 we just did, and then 2 more.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
But there's no
I'll,
reason you can't do that.
yeah, no, that makes sense. So again, I'll make my motion that we do a waiver under our chapter 187, our bylaw, 187.5, that we waive the 50-foot setback because I point to the substantial hardship to the applicants, and that it's a substantial hardship to the applicants, and in the end of the day, it's not, it's not a detriment to the public good, and doesn't nullify or substantially derogate our purposes of our bylaw. So that's my motion.
Okay,
Second,
motion from Chris, second from Bill.
so we can discuss it now.
Now we can discuss.
The reason to waive it would be a hardship. It's not detrimental to the wetlands that are there. The hardship would be that there was a trailer on it before, that it was used. Whether or not it was a house there, whether there was a trailer there was a lawn, there was a shed, there's a road in between the lake and the proposed house. There's electrical power there on site?
Yeah.
And a sewer stub.
Yeah.
So that would be the reason to waive it. Right?
That's how I see it.
Is there anything else?
I think that covers it.
I got a sewer stub on my property, and it can't be built on. That doesn't hold any credence.
Okay, okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, so we'll take a vote on this. This is a vote in favor of waiving our bylaw of 50 feet. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have 2 ayes, and all opposed, say nay. Nay, we have 4 nays, and another abstain.
Abstained.
Okay. So, then, do we even need to do a vote on the condition, on the third
I
vote?
think you have to do a vote. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have to then do a denial vote, right, on the request?
Well, or you could, make, issue an order of conditions that makes it essentially denied, by saying that, based on the denial of the waiver, that, the house has to be entirely outside the 50-foot no disturb. Or I should say no build, so effectively denying it. So they're essentially equivalent ways. I guess if the commission's inclination is to outright deny it, then I guess my request would be is that those members who, feel that way need to get together and write the denial. I don't feel that I personally could write a denial. that would be upheld in court, and I don't feel it's an efficient use of my time to do that, in all honesty.
Okay. We'll have to, we may need your help on how to do that.
Okay, well.
Okay. So, how, I'm sorry, I missed, do we need to still do another vote on the?
Yeah, I think you
vote on the-
you either need to approve it with a set of conditions
That are not-
that may be impossible to meet, or you vote to explicitly deny it. And, if you issue, an outright denial, you have to state the reasons why it's being denied and how it does not comply with the interests of the bylaw, not just that it doesn't comply with that particular section. You just can't simply cite that section and expect it to be upheld. You have to say explicitly how this house will adversely impact the lake. You have to come up with specific reasons.
All right, so Chris, how do you want to
Well,
work it?
I'm not gonna make a motion to deny the project.
Yeah.
Because again,
Yeah,
I personally don't see the legal basis.
yeah,
And again, these people spend a lot of money already. They very well might choose not to hire legal counsel and not to appeal because it could break the bank, but, I mean, honestly, I personally can't, I'm not gonna make a motion to deny the project because it goes against what I wanna do, so. People that are against it would have to make something, you'd have to,
And to your point, Chris, I think you also have to keep in mind that if this is appealed, then you're asking town council, you're putting them into the position of having to defend the commission's decision in court.
okay, so we're stuck a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how we move forward here. We had a vote to approve it on the state wetlands, and we had a vote to not issue the waiver. So that leaves us either we come up with a vote to deny it outright, or to approve it with as you said, with a condition that is undoable.
Effectively denies it. And if a denial is appealed, that, an order of conditions effectively denying it will
It's
also
just
be
two ways
appealed.
of doing the same thing, that's all, really, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? All right, well, I can't make a motion. At least typically, the chair doesn't make a motion. Could we re-vote?
Yeah,
on the waiver?
you can certainly revote to rescind, the denial of the waiver. Because that doesn't involve reopening the hearing.
Do that.
Okay, I'll take a motion to take a re-vote. on
First,
the
you have to vote to rescind the denial
Okay,
of the
take a
grant of the
vote to
waiver.
rescind the previous vote on the denial of the waiver. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll
So-
take that motion.
I make a motion then that we rescind the previous vote of the denial of the waiver.
Second.
Okay, motion from Chris, second from Bill. All in favor to rescind?
Aye.
Aye. And one abstain.
Now you can revote.
So now we can revote.
So I move that we waive the 50-foot setback to the provisions of 187.5-F.
Second. Yeah, Bill?
I heard a second from Bill.
Now you have
So motion from-
discussion.
Motion from Chris, second from Bill, and do you have any discussion?
I think David's correct. The grounds to deny it
Yeah.
I was denying it because out of principle,
Yeah.
which maybe I shouldn't be doing, but,
Well, it's all, yeah.
right? So, on face value, it's hard to deny it based on, it's hard to deny it. So, just vote on it.
Yeah, we don't have a good resource protection reason.
Right.
I'd love to hear it if there is one. That's the thing. I don't see a hardship. I'm sorry, I don't see a hardship, but I don't see a resource protection. And, so, okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, and one abstain. All right, so I think if I counted it right, we had 5 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 abstain.
All right,
Okay.
so now I'll make a motion that we grant an order of conditions under our local bylaw, chapter 187, with the same special conditions that we've listed for the, under the state, chapter 131, section 40, same
Okay.
conditions.
Second.
Well, no, that you already approved it under that.
Yeah.
Under the state.
It's under the wetland bylaw.
Right, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, what-
Oh,
The
so the
same
same as-
special
same as the
conditions
state.
as previously.
Same
Is that all right?
conditions, yeah.
Yep, no, that's
Run
fine.
that
I
by
got you.
me again, 'cause now I'm
So-
totally screwed up.
So, my motion for our order of conditions under our chapter 187 local bylaw, okay? And the special there'd be standard conditions and the same conditions that we had just had listed previously that we were approving under the State Wetlands Protection Act.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So motion from Chris, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, opposed? 1, and abstain, 1. Okay, same as last time. So, that is an approval. I think you can tell we aren't thrilled, but that's the way it goes. Good luck with the project.
It's a process, and we appreciate all your
You still have a
patience.
ways to go.
Yes, thank
I
you.
know, yep. I think it's just been an interesting, very interesting application, very, very interesting.
We appreciate all your time. Thank
Okay,
you.
yep.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Sorry, I was a little bit shaky there.
Yeah,
through
no,
that
no.
process, but
Can I
yeah,
say
you know.
something, since this is all past now? I think from the day one, when those people first came before us, they were given wrong information. They were encouraged when it never should have been. I think they got false hope, and they kept on pursuing it, spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
Could I make an observation related to that? Because we.
Well, let's,
You want to move on?
Yeah,
You've got a good point.
yeah,
There's some things we
there's a
can do
lot of
different.
things we can learn about this project. There's a lot there. But I think we should move on, although we just
Yeah.
lost John. I think we can still move on to our next topic, though. Well, yeah, next topic is the notice of intent for the 265, 279 Chelmsford Street, where the applicant has requested to move, continue the hearing until November.
Well,
which-
yes, November 11th, which is a holiday, so the motion will have to be to continue it to November 25th.
Do they realize it'll be that far?
I told them. yes.
Okay, all right, so I'll take a motion to continue to November 25th for 265 and 279 Chelmsford Street et al.
I move that we continue this hearing of 265, 279 Chelmsford Street until November 25th, 2025 meeting.
All right, motion from Chris. Do I have a second? Second from Mark. Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. John's not here.
Yeah, you just marked that John stepped out.
Yeah, John
He's
stepped out.
abstained.
I don't think he abstained. He just absent.
Not present.
All right. Now let's get into some discussion. This is non-regulatory part of our hearing. So assistance, as we see, we have certificates of compliance that are outstanding, some of them for months and some for years and some for even decades, I might add, from what I can tell. And so the thought here was, we have discussed this in the past, I think we talked about it at our off-site, or not off-site, but our strategy session a year ago. David has, there's a person working in the office downstairs with a volunteer that is helping out in the community development area, and we think we can get some help from that person. And I think the
Some help, yes.
idea, some help, and the idea is to start, at least, the first thing would be get a list of what are the open order of conditions, focused on, like, let's say, the last 5 years that David's been here, and get that list so that we can track that and see who's got open orders of conditions.
Yeah.
And then keep going, backwards in time to find open order of conditions. The intent here is, the problem that we're trying to solve here is that often someone is like trying to sell their home or do some kind of transaction, put it into a trust, and there's an open order of conditions, and all of a sudden that shows up, and for them, it's a crisis that gets dumped on David's lap.
Yes.
And because it's important, it's an emotional time for the person trying to sell their house or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like, it can get complicated. So the idea is, let's try to head this off a little bit. So I just wanted to bring this up, that I think we want to get everybody nodding in agreement, I guess. I don't think we need to vote on this, but that's the approach we want to take. If anybody has ideas, I know we've talked about some famous ones. The grist mill had one open. I think is it still open?
It is still open.
Yeah.
44 Central Square is still open, which is kind of the topic of the next item.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of these, and I think it's great if we can get some help. It's just kind of doing some grunt work up front and getting information, ultimately sending out some letters to, whether it's homeowner associations or developers. Developers have probably left, but even, I think, notifying homeowners that this is a situation in their neighborhood.
Yeah,
Even if the
absolutely.
developer's been retired in Florida for 10 years, that way they're not surprised in 5 or 10 years or 20 years when they go to sell their house. So, anyway, any other comments or thoughts?
Go ahead, Ally.
Do we know, and I might be speaking out of turn because I'm kind of green to this, but do we know if there's any type of retention schedule or anything that has to do with supervisor of public records in terms of retaining these records, and then also like kind of administratively closing them on our own if a certain amount of time has passed? Do we know that?
Statute of limitations?
No, there isn't, and I don't think we have that legal authority.
You can't close it, it affects the title, right?
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
you-
I guess.
You can't.
I guess
you
the
gotta
commission.
fix it at some point. You gotta close it out.
Yeah, and I guess the commission could do that unilaterally, that is without getting a request, but I don't think that's advisable.
I mean, nothing like with issues with title, but like, for example, the Billrica Road one, and one of the conditions was, the 3 years with the trees. I mean, if that time's already passed, could that be something we could look at? I mean, obviously, someone's gonna have to go through and read these, but the more simple ones, I guess, simple being a loose term.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the place to start.
Sounds like you're volunteering for something.
I don't know, again, I'm probably gonna put my foot in my mouth, but my expertise is retention and public records.
Well, that's
Volunteer.
that's interesting because it certainly happened, a number of times where I get a request for a certificate of compliance for a filing that's 25, 30, 35 years old, and there's no file whatsoever.
Sure.
They were probably tossed when, offices moved from the old town hall. So you're in a bit better position than I am to know, is that legal? Should those records have been thrown out?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, depends.
So,
right?
I've heard different sides of that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually heard from your boss that, no, we don't need to save these things forever.
Right, and I can't speak to the clerk's office. I've only
Right.
been there since as long as I've been here. My expertise is more police-based, so those things, there's certain things that are indefinite and you have to keep them forever, but that's a whole different thing.
In that kind of a situation, what I tell the requester is, yeah, I'll go out and do a site visit without even knowing what the filing was for. If I see anything really egregious, though, I'm going to tell you that I'm gonna recommend that the commission deny it. So that usually, gets a lot of response.
Okay, and I don't wanna,
I've been able to get a number of sites really cleaned up.
Sure.
In that way.
Well,
And that's probably the issue that we want to focus on, is where would there be an action? Not a paperwork thing. The paperwork thing is a problem if the seller's trying to sell it. I recognize that. But for the commission's goal, it's like,
It's
what needs to be done,
Yeah,
if
it's
anything?
really a very, very basic administrative thing, which is create a list, get an inventory. What do we got? How old
Yeah.
are they, and what needs to be done?
Yeah.
To get these closed out. What are we waiting for? And some of them will be, we're not waiting for anything, just somebody to push the button.
Yep.
And others will be, oh no, you gotta do this, whatever.
Certainly, it's a lot easier if the orders aren't that old, if the applicants are still around.
Right.
And I think that's pretty much the case with one since I've been here. Say it's been about 55 orders of conditions. The ones that have not already gotten the certificate of compliance, I know most of the applicants are still around, like the DPW.
Yeah.
Oh.
Too bad we don't know who to chase there.
I mean, that being said, if it's all right with all of you guys, we'll, like you said, do the 5-year look back, and I can team up with you. Obviously, it would have to be kind of separate from the town clerk, because it would be this, but we'll talk, if that's all right with you guys.
Be
We'll
great,
figure
great
it
to
out.
have you help out there.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Wow,
that's
good
my
idea.
wheelhouse,
Anything
yeah.
else?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Right.
Good. All right. All right, good. So then let's shift to the next thing. Dumpsters close to the wetlands at 41 Central Square. This is the Oddfellows.
Yeah, so,
Parking.
in back of the Oddfellows building, I noticed sometime this summer that there are 2 dumpsters now that were previously, they were closer to the building, and they were, still kind of close to the wetlands, but they've been moved now even closer to the stream, right at the edge of the pavement.
These are
And-
construction dumpsters? Or?
No, I think they're actually the dumpsters. Well, I don't know if the business is actually operating there or not.
Well, there's apartments there.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's they're really related to the operation of the building. I don't think they're really construction dumpsters. And so I told the owner that I really think they should be moved. I think those are a little close to the stream.
Yeah.
Again, right up to the pavement. He said, well, we'll be able to move them, as soon as the construction winds down, and because he was worried about interference with the construction work. On the other hand, there is a dumpsters pad shown on the approved plans.
Yeah.
And so then I said, well, I think I really need to then talk to the Conservation Commission about that. So then the next I heard from him last week was, he said, well, we're gonna move it. Okay, we're gonna move it to the dumpster pad that's shown on the plans. And as I checked, I think the next day or 2 after that, and he still hadn't done it. And I wasn't able to check today. But what
It's right directly behind, right?
Right directly behind. Yeah, no, if you go to that parking area back there, you can't miss them.
Okay.
So I guess what I would like to request is maybe a couple volunteer members of the commission just go out and look at them. If they're still there, just send me an email telling me, you think they should be moved, or you're okay with them being there. If you tell me that they should be moved, I'll keep after him, especially where he said he's gonna move them.
Well, they should be according to plan, with a fence around them. That's where, it had to be
Yeah.
approved that way. I don't remember a lot of stuff being approved that way, but
Yeah, as I say, the dumpster pad is shown on the plan, and I assume, yeah, that would have a fence.
if it's not inside there, it's a violation.
Mhm. Okay.
You want to get over there?
Sure, I'll ride by.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, good. Yeah, that's right on the stream, right on
Yeah.
Beaver Brook.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we protect it.
Yeah, they're right on the pavement, yeah, no fence.
Yep.
So,
All right, thank you. Next one is update on Freeman Lake parcel boundary surveys. I have not been up there. I keep saying I'm going to go up and look at that.
yeah,
but,
that's do I. So I'm told the 3 granite bounds are in, which I think you said you
Yeah, they've
saw,
been in
Bill?
for a while.
And the 2 iron pins are in as well. So looks like the job is complete. I have received the invoice.
Been invoiced, wow.
Well,
Oh, no, this is, oh, no, never mind, wrong one, okay.
So I think really then the remaining step, or a remaining step, is to get the fence put in along that boundary line, and then, you know, look to see what's on the parcel that's not the commission's, and, you know, then work to address that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get over there and take a look at that. Chris, Peter, David, I'd like to try and squeeze in a bylaws and regulations committee meeting on Tuesday, the 4th of November at 6:30, if that works, because
Yeah, that should be okay.
we got town meeting next week. I don't want to do
No,
it next week.
that's a bad
No
one.
way, not doing it.
No,
And so we got, since we can't meet on the 11th, because that's Veterans Day.
Right.
Which, and then we don't, and then the 18th is an off week, and then the 25th will be our conservation meeting. So we do have a meeting 2 weeks from tonight, and then that meeting will be a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what.
I don't know, but if you can do that, I'd like, because I think based on what I looked at the meeting minutes from, I think it was June was our last meeting, we should be able to close this out with this meeting and then come back to the commission with our recommendations. So, time to do a little homework before that meeting so that we can go through that meeting and close it out. But I'd like to get this done. It's been open for a while. We knew we wouldn't get to it in the summer, or we
But I think we
suspected.
made good progress so far. and
Yeah,
I think sort of a next step will be to consult with town council.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that at the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, I mean, we'd probably be able to identify 2 or 3 matters that we might be able to say yay on, and then over to town council, you know? Yeah.
All right, let's do land management. Let's talk coolest first. Do you have the picture, David? We did get the kiosk installed over the weekend. The young man, Dominic, and his dad got it installed, and it looks good. It's a nice looking kiosk.
Yeah.
Got a map on there, and it's a trail map and site map, and so, and there he is. There's
Nice.
is the young man, so it's
Nice.
good. It's good,
Yeah.
good project, good community service.
How many holes did you have to drill to get the?
5 holes in the ground to get 2 good ones.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
There's
Is that bony up there?
Yes.
There's a lot of rock.
A lot of potatoes.
rock.
A lot of potatoes, yeah.
Looks good, though.
Yeah, it looks good. So it's a good step. Hopefully we can get that pad out of there soon, but I know DPW's been
It
busy.
just brought something up when I saw that fella standing next to the sign there and what he built, and there's a glass over it. I think all signs that we put up on a reservation should be behind glass or plastic.
I would
I
like
don't wanna
that.
see them up here and
Yeah,
down here
I
and
li-
like
I-
that.
Yeah, they don't look great.
No.
I know, but it's.
I'm always,
but
you
we
know
need-
I'm always
we-
against that.
I know, but we need bigger
sign pollution.
kiosks, and this is the one we got, so
Well-
we'll see. In principle, I'm with you, but, all right, let's do, so anything else on Coolis?
We went up to Coolers last week and cut all the grass, weed whacked. John Ray, myself, and I don't know who else, if anyone else came up, but we cut the grass, I think probably the last time this year.
Yeah.
So it looks good.
Question for you. Along cutting grass, did we get a decision on the town meeting? Is that article gonna go forward or not go forward?
As far as I know, it's still going forward. We've met with John, and we're in agreement with the plan of the site,
Yeah,
but he's still going forward, so I'm a little.
And you've updated it on a town
Yeah,
website, right?
And it's now on the kiosk, yeah. Yeah, we have an updated plan, but he's still gonna go forward, and I'm a little bit at a loss of why, but, because we've met,
because it sounds like we
3
have agreement
times
as to
with
what
him.
could be cut and not cut,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, we agreed on, I thought we agreed on everything, but.
Yep, so, anyway, yeah. Anything else? How's Deep Brook and Oak Hill?
Well, at Coolis, they're gonna be able to make the sign this year. I'm gonna get the
The granite sign.
proposal from them. I was up there today, and so they're gonna have it before winter for us.
Okay,
So,
good, good.
Up at Oak Hill, somebody spray painted on rocks up there. It may be on the church's land,
Oh, it's up there.
part of the quarry.
Okay.
So we'll have to take a look and see if, might have to take a walk up there and take a look, see if it's on our land or not. Either way, if we can take care of it, it'd be a good idea.
Okay.
That's it.
I will say slowly but surely, we are making progress towards getting trail clearance for those properties up
yes,
there.
yes.
But let's not go too far yet. It's a slow process, but it's actually encouraging, I think, so we'll see. But that'd be great if we can get that. Chris, Crooked Spring, anything going on?
Hey, looking good out there. Parking lot, beautiful job keeping that clean and trash-free from the volunteers. The trails are looking good. Pond itself, I mean, it's really filling in with sediment. I mean, it's so
It's really
low.
low,
It's
yeah.
so low. I mean, you can't get, I mean, no fish can survive out there given just how low the depth is, so. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that pond.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you'd either have to dredge it so you can actually get some fish that could be, live fish in there or not. I took a walk up the trail that leads up to that cliff area, and that was really nice. That's a beautiful spot
Yeah.
there, looking up at the cliffs up there.
Yeah, the pines, all the pines.
Yeah, you're just completely surrounded with pines going in and out. It's nice. It's a nice property, and the trails are looking good.
And Mark, Red Wing,
Red Wing is gonna be very busy Friday.
Yep.
With 30 volunteers and some stewards that like to help out a lot. The fence is gonna go in. Hopefully it gets,
we have to close the site actually for the day for that, not open to the public, so, yeah.
hopefully it gets all done.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work and a lot of
yeah.
logistics
The
involved.
material arrived at
Yeah.
Somerville, so we should, at Chelmsford, yeah,
yeah.
it should be there tomorrow.
Did you get the stone yet?
Either tomorrow or Thursday, yeah, so it's all crazily, it's all coming together, but.
Has Chelmsford Lumber gotten
I
it
talked
delivered?
to him today, and he said it was on the truck to be delivered to the site tomorrow morning, so, it's good.
They're gonna spread it out? Does somebody have to be there?
I told him, just put it right behind the kiosk. That's
We'll put
what-
it all there?
Yeah, just put it right behind the kiosk,
All right.
we'll deal with it from there, that makes it easy.
Okay.
Anything at Lamb Quarry, that's quiet,
I
as far
haven't
as I
been there
know,
in a
yeah,
week, so,
yeah.
2 weeks.
And Peter, Thanksgiving Forest.
Yeah, I have a lovely update from our steward Jeff that starts out by saying all's well in the forest.
Especially for the coyotes.
Yeah, Carl and Steve and Bill, is that you, Bill? Cleared the Norway maples.
Bill Dowling.
Bill Dowling. And Jeff is thankful for that. That was
Yeah.
part of the plan. And there is, I did get concurrence today from our DPW director to pay for signs that we want to put up for dogs, reminding people that there is a leash law in town. So we'll go with this original sandwich boards and,
Yeah, more signs, Mark. I know.
well, they're not permanent, so we can
Yeah.
decide
Yeah,
if they're
It's
needed.
a good approach.
Yeah, but I'll order 5, and Jeff wanted 3, because he's got 2 on the Carlisle side where people come in.
Yeah, I don't know that you have to cover every
Too many?
entrance, but, yeah.
All right, we can decide.
We
5
have other
sound,
sites, we have issues at Cranberry Bog, we have,
Huh?
is
so.
5
Oh,
enough
against that.
for now?
Yeah, 5's good, yeah, we'll move them around.
Yeah, you move
That
around.
way-
I mean,
that way
like-
it's
Like
not-
the police have those things, they move around from place
Yeah,
to
yeah,
place.
yeah, right, like the
The whole
speeding,
thing.
yeah. the
Exactly, they set it
speeding.
out here for a week or 2
Oh,
days.
we're getting neon ones with remote control, so you can change the message.
Drones and banners.
Yeah,
All right,
scrolling
let's
banners.
keep it all to one meeting here, so,
Leave that road, because they're gonna go to
John, do you have anything at Russell Mill?
It's been busy up there, I
Yeah.
can tell you that.
Busy place, yep.
Not
all
a
right.
lot of people walking in there, though.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
all cars
yeah,
and
okay.
bicycles.
And, let's see, we did Oak Hill, Cranberry Bog.
AKA speed bumps.
I knew that was coming up. All right. Cranberry bog, so we are chasing
Going around to have them
the
removed.
I'll sign
chestnut,
it.
the American
It's
chestnut
online.
trees.
The alleged
Let's keep it,
American
let's keep it
chestnut.
to one meeting here, guys. We are chasing the American chestnut
The
tree.
alleged American chestnut.
Alleged, at the Cranberry Bog. We're back and forth with the American Chestnut Foundation
Really?
and, experts, yeah. It's a 40-foot chestnut that, they claim it is a chestnut, an American chestnut, and David's very doubtful. And
I don't think it is.
Yeah, so
I-
we'll see.
That would be really unusual.
It would be.
Yeah,
It would be
yeah,
a real
it would-
find.
It would be a real find, yeah.
But they're-
And we have nuts. We have the burrs. They call them the burrs. But
I think it's a matter of getting an expert to actually come and look at it.
yeah. I agree. It's probably a hybrid, but we'll see. That's interesting. And at Warren Pole, we did have Oxbow spraying the bittersweet and the wisteria. So we'll see how that goes, and they will be back doing painting of the Tree of Heaven and cut and paint Tree of Heaven and Burning Bush, so more there. Right reservation is, I haven't heard anything about any issues there, so I was there maybe 2 weeks ago, but it seems to be good, so. And David, you did mention though, that you approved upcoming events at Red Wing and
Yes, so
Russell Mill.
approved a couple of photography events at Red Wing Farm.
not Friday.
No, not Friday. One was on the 5th, which I think was the Saturday before last. And then I think the next one I think is in November. And then I approved a couple of events training events that Ride Like a Ninja is having at Russell Mill on October 25th, 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Okay.
So, and I have forwarded that approval to Barrymore at NEMBA as well.
Okay, just so they're aware of it. They did put up, the soccer group did put up the fences. They look okay. They look all right, the ball catch thing, so that's all right. The only other things I had here are, so we won't be here Veterans Day. We are meeting the 28th, so 2 weeks from today. We'll do this bylaws and regs meeting on the 4th, and then it won't be until the 25th of November, 2 days before Thanksgiving, which makes me also say in December, our two meetings are like the 9th and then the 23rd. So we gotta think about, do we really wanna meet on Tuesday, the 23rd? It's a little far away, but, I mean.
We gotta plan our Christmas party.
And, yeah, we gotta plan our Christmas party. It's at Ally's house, right? It's always at the new
Sign me up.
person's house, right?
Right, you guys are in trouble.
All right, so, and then the last thing is, we do have an MACC conference a week from Saturday on the 25th. I'm gonna try and go, but I am having a lot of conflict issues with stuff going on, so I have not signed up yet. Are you signed up to go?
To the conference, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, it's a good
Those are
take.
good. Those
Yeah.
fall conferences are really good.
Are you going?
I can't.
Yeah, Peter, are you going?
I'm away.
Wow.
And yeah, and like last year I zoomed in for part of it, but that doesn't look like there's an option for zooming
Yeah.
in
I
this year.
didn't see one.
Yeah.
Ally asked me, remember you asked me what I would go to if I was there, and I said, well, geez, almost all of them.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
pretty targeted.
There's quite a few. I'm going to one about ADUs, there's another one about 40B in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we had talked after I had signed up, so
Yeah,
the other one
yeah.
is part of my certification, but at any rate,
The hint is you can go to anything you want, you just walk in.
Pretty much.
You sign up and that gives them an idea, like, oh, that one wasn't very popular, but
yeah,
Yep.
it's
the
kinda-
She's
reality is who signs this sheet, you know?
You're aiming for your certification though, so you've got
Yeah,
one of the
really, if
8
you-
trying
courses.
to knock that out. but,
Yeah, if you change your mind the day of the game, game day decision, no
Put a
problem.
false mustache on it.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Jim Swenson, right?
Jim Swenson.
We're twins.
Alan.
Yeah, Alan Swenson. And then obviously I know it's
I don't
late,
know
but
if I'd use that.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
I know it's late and obviously we want to wrap up, but we had also discussed maybe possibly putting together some type of a presentation or getting some materials to share with you guys at a future meeting to kind of rehash that conference, if anybody
Oh,
was interested in that.
Be good, that'd be great.
If it's
Good.
pertinent
Yeah.
info.
Yeah, we generally do have at least a 5 or 10 minute, like,
We did
what,
that for the
what you
winter
learned,
one.
you
Yeah,
know.
we did that for the winter
What
one.
did I learn over at
Keeping
summer
it very
vacation?
brief, but, you know, a highlight reel, if you will, you know.
Yep, yeah,
Here's
that'd
me
be
at
good.
this table. you know.
They'll email you the slide deck after.
Yeah,
Sure.
but it
Which you
usually is
could
like
share.
2 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I'll see what I can grab.
All right,
Thank you.
Ally, you said that you're going to a conference on ADUs?
So it's the MACC's fall conference on the 25th in Devons, Massachusetts. So it's all different
Yeah.
workshops. You guys could probably
but it's
that
about
have been.
ADUs within conservation.
Yeah.
like mixing it with,
I think we should pay
Land,
attention to that.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, that was.
That one's
Steve's-
probably
I got to
of
give the credit
interest,
to
yeah.
him on this one. He,
Well,
you
I
know,
think we should have paid
reshuffled.
attention to it.
All right, I'll take a motion, yeah, we don't have any meeting minutes, right?
No, I've been
Okay.
slacking.
But we do have a town meeting
How
next
was
week,
that,
which
Bill?
means we will be seeing meeting minutes just flying out on Monday night.
No, I'm busy doing all kinds of work. Who knows how many
I
amendments
thought you were up there
we'll get?
I thought you were up there doing the Concom minutes. That's what you told me.
I do all kinds of things up there.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion from Chris, all in favor? Yeah.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Meeting adjourned, thank you, Chelmsford Telemedia, 9 o'clock.
Good night.